County Attorney Kim Ogg announced state grants totaling more than $4 million towards services for victims of sex trafficking and violent crime on Monday. The Texas Governor's Criminal Justice Division awarded 4 separate grants totaling $4.4 million to provide better victim services and criminal prosecution in cases of violent crimes and sex trafficking, Ogg said. Violent criminals toss victims into the criminal justice system without regard to the harm they are inflicting, Ogg said. It's traumatic, stressful, and confusing. The grants were announced during a morning news conference at the Children's Assessment Center, which specializes in treating sexually abused children.
The Harris County Commissioner's Court is going forward with plans to build a water detention project along Buffalo Bayou. The court has approved initial studies for the plan. Harris County Judge Ed Emmett thinks the study should go quickly. "I think the public really expects us to move forward with flood control projects," said Emmett, who believes the vote was a step in that direction. Susan Chadwick is the executive director of Save Buffalo Bayou. She doesn't want the proposed detention along the bayou. "People need to take responsibility for runoff from their homes and sidewalks and driveways and in the streets and clearing the drains. It's just easier for them to take our public land, our public parks, and use that. It's free," she said.
Property owners in several neighborhoods in the Woodlands Township and Municipal Utilities District 386 in Harris County will have their properties reappraised for post-Hurricane Harvey damages and possibly receive refunds. Jack Barnett, Chief Communications Officer for the Harris County Appraisal District, said that reappraisals for property damaged by Hurricane Harvey and the associated rains and flooding were approved by the district after requests were made by the Woodlands Township Board of Directors and officials with the Municipal Utility District 386. Nearly 300 homes in the village of Creekside Park, which includes Timurin and Timurin Lakes, are situated along Spring Creek, were damaged in the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey. The homes that were flooded will have 2 appraisals, one from January 1st through August 22nd, 2017, and the second appraisal from August 23rd through December 31st, 2017, Barnett said. Those properties affected will be reappraised on January 1 when appraisers visit the area, Barnett added. Barnett also said that 2 appraisal values will be calculated and the property taxes will be adjusted based on the possible differences in value. Residents will then receive a new property tax bill, which could include a possible refund.
210,000 gallons of oil leaked Thursday from the Keystone Pipeline in Marshall County, South Dakota. The leak occurred about 3 miles southeast of the town of Amherst. Much of the pipeline has been shut down, and the cause of the leak is being investigated according to TransCanada, the company that operates the Keystone system. TransCanada said that the section of Keystone pipe that was leaking was isolated within 15 minutes after a drop in pressure was detected. The Keystone Pipeline transports crude oil more than 2,600 miles from Alberta, Canada to Texas. The leak comes just days before officials in the state of Nebraska are scheduled to vote on whether to approve a 275-mile-long extension of a sister project, the proposed Keystone XL pipeline. The Keystone XL pipeline would stretch from Alberta down to Steel City, Nebraska, cutting through Montana and South Dakota on the way. The Trump administration issued a permit back in March that approved construction of the Keystone XL pipeline after the Obama administration had rejected the project. Environmentalists opposed the pipeline for many reasons, including the fact that it would cut across one of the world's largest underground deposits of fresh water, the Ogallala Aquifer. Environmental activist groups wasted no time in speaking out after the leak. A spokesman for Greenpeace said, quote, "The Nebraska's Public Service Commission needs to take a close look at this spill. Permit approving allowing a Canadian oil company, TransCanada, to build Keystone XL is a thumbs up to likely spills in the future," end of quote. Kelly Martin, director of the Sierras Club's, quote, Beyond Dirty Fuels, end of quote, campaign said, quote, "We've always said it's not a question of whether a pipeline will spill, but when. And today, TransCanada is making our case for us." Thursday's leak is the largest Keystone oil spill so far in South Dakota. In April of last year, there was a 16,800-gallon leak in Hutchinson County. That leak took 2 months to clean up. Thursday's leak is more than 12 times larger than that earlier leak. Brian Walsh, a spokesman for South Dakota's Department of Environment and Natural Resources, said that some oil from the below-ground pipeline has surfaced above ground, and that it will be days before tests can be performed to determine if there's a groundwater contamination. TransCanada said it is working with state and federal agencies and will provide updates as they become available. And now our roving reporter, Rad Rich.